You enjoy a warm bowl of rice with your family, but an hour later you feel heavy, tired, maybe even a little foggy. For seniors, that's not just getting older, it's a hidden blood sugar surge, one that quietly pushes your heart, gut, and memory toward decline. The good news? A single change to how you cook rice can cut that spike by nearly half, and even feed the good bacteria that protect your digestion for years to come. And hack number 3? Almost no one talks about it. After 60, your body changes how it handles carbs. Insulin becomes slower, inflammation lingers longer, and gut bacteria start to lose their balance. For many, rice, a daily comfort, quietly fuels those problems. But it doesn't have to. With 5 simple, clinically proven tweaks, we can turn rice from a blood sugar hazard into a gut-healing food you can enjoy without fear. And while every change should be discussed with your healthcare provider, these are gentle, everyday shifts that fit easily into the meals you already love. Number 1. Soak before cooking, the simple starch solution. Frank, 71, always looked forward to his evening rice bowl. But every morning, his glucometer told the same story. Fasting sugar creeping higher week after week. He'd tried cutting portions, even skipping rice entirely, but it felt like losing a piece of his culture. Here's what most people don't realize. The problem wasn't the rice itself, it was how it was prepared. In my clinical work with seniors, I often recommend a simple, research-backed change. Soak your rice before cooking. A 2015 study in food chemistry found that soaking white rice for 30 to 120 minutes reduced rapidly digestible starch, the kind that spikes blood sugar, by up to 20%. Diabetic participants in that trial saw a post-meal glucose drop by 14 to 18% compared to eating rice prepared the usual way. Why does it work? Think of your starch molecules like tiny, tangled strings. Soaking loosens them and lets some of the quickest to digest ones, amylopectin, wash away in the water you discard. It's like rinsing the sugar glaze off an apple before eating it. You're removing the rush before it hits your bloodstream. Frank tried it, soaking his rice in warm water for an hour before dinner, then draining and cooking as usual. 3 weeks later, his fasting glucose was 12 points lower, without giving up the comfort of his favorite meal. If you've ever felt tired or foggy after a rice-heavy dinner, this small shift might surprise you. And in just a moment, we'll layer on a second tweak that changes how your stomach empties food, turning a steep sugar climb into a slow, gentle hill. Number 2. Add vinegar for a blood sugar buffer. When Maria, 68, started using this next tweak, she didn't expect much. But within days, the afternoon drowsiness she'd battled for years was gone. The change? Just 2 teaspoons of vinegar, added while cooking her rice. It sounds too simple to matter, but here's what the science says. A 2017 study by Santos and colleagues found that vinegar's acetic acid lowered rice's glycemic response by 20 to 25%. It works in 3 ways. First, it slows how quickly your stomach empties, so glucose enters your blood more gradually. Second, it partially blocks alpha-amylase, the digestive enzyme that breaks starch into sugar. And third, it helps your cells take in glucose more efficiently, reducing the demand on your already slower, aging insulin system. This step unlocks the biological on switch for energy. Think of vinegar as a gentle traffic light inside your gut. It lets carbs pass, but in slow, even intervals instead of one overwhelming rush. Maria started adding 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar per cup of cooking water for her evening rice. No sharp post-meal crashes, no 3 p.m. fog. Instead, steady energy that lasted into the evening and better fasting sugars at her next checkup. If you've ever felt sleepy after a meal you thought was healthy, you're not alone. Have you noticed that slump after lunch? Type yes if it happens to you. I read every comment. And this is where it gets even more powerful, because the next tweak doesn't just slow sugar, it changes the very structure of your rice overnight. 3. Cool and reheat. Unlock resistant starch. The next tweak feels almost like magic, because you don't change the rice, you change its structure. Elaine, 65, had always felt bloated after dinner, especially on rice nights. She assumed it was just her sensitive stomach, but when she tried this method, her digestion calmed within a week. Here's the science. When you cook rice, then cool it in the fridge for at least 12 hours, the starch molecules realign, a process called starch retrogradation. This turns some of the amylose into resistant starch, which your body can't fully digest. Instead of breaking down into glucose in the small intestine, resistant starch travels to your colon, where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Over time, this not only lowers the glycemic impact of your rice, it supports a healthier microbiome, crucial for seniors, whose gut diversity naturally declines with age. A 2014 study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that overnight cooling increased resistant starch in rice by 2.5 times. Your body remembers. This helps it believe again. Think of it like letting fresh bread rest. The texture changes, making it harder for sugar to escape too quickly into your bloodstream. Elaine now batch cooks her rice, chills it overnight, then reheats gently the next day. She says her bloating is gone, her energy steadier, and even her sleep has improved, thanks to less evening sugar spike. And if you think that's powerful, wait until you see what happens when you combine rice with an ingredient that actively lowers cholesterol while keeping your blood sugar stable. 4. Mix with oats for gut and heart benefits. Tom, 70, thought his rice was already as healthy as it could be after soaking and cooling. But when his doctor mentioned his LDL cholesterol was still creeping up, he decided to try one last tweak, and this one made a difference he could feel. The idea is simple. Replace about a quarter of your rice with steel-cut oats when cooking. Why oats? They contain beta-glucan, a soluble fiber with two powerful effects for seniors. First, it forms a gentle gel in your digestive tract, slowing down how quickly glucose is absorbed, keeping your blood sugar curve steady. Second, beta-glucan binds to cholesterol in the gut, helping carry it out of the body before it can be reabsorbed. An NIH-backed 2018 study found that in adults over 60, beta-glucan lowered post-meal glucose by 23% and LDL cholesterol by about 10% over just a few weeks. Ignore this, and the symptoms often get worse without warning. Think of beta-glucan like a sponge inside your gut, soaking up excess cholesterol and giving your heart a lighter workload. Tom started adding steel-cut oats to his rice cooker, 1 part oats to 3 parts rice. Within a month, his cholesterol numbers had dropped, his afternoon energy was steadier, and even his digestion felt smoother. And here's the thing. When you combine this with our final tweak, you're not just controlling blood sugar and cholesterol, you're triggering a hormone response that actually supports muscle strength as you age. 5. Choose lower GI varieties and pair with protein. Gloria, 66, loved sharing Sunday lunches with her grandchildren, but she hated the sluggish, heavy feeling that came after. Even after trying the first 4 rice tweaks, she wanted one more layer of protection, something that would keep her energy high for the rest of the day. That's where choosing lower GI rice varieties and pairing them with protein makes all the difference. Lower GI rice, like basmati or certain brown rice varieties, releases glucose more slowly. And when you add a protein source, fish, chicken, beans, it stimulates incretin hormones, which help your pancreas release insulin more steadily and your muscles absorb glucose more efficiently. A 2016 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that basmati rice paired with lean protein reduced post-meal blood sugar by 35% compared to white rice alone. Without this, all the good work may never reach your joints. Think of protein as a strong walking stick for your metabolism. It keeps you steady, especially when your body's natural balance isn't as quick as it used to be. Gloria switched from standard white rice to basmati and started serving it alongside grilled salmon or beans. Not only did her energy last all afternoon, but she noticed she was more alert and engaged when playing with her grandkids. And here's the beautiful part. By making these 5 small tweaks, you're not just protecting numbers on a lab report. You're protecting your ability to stay active, independent, and fully present with the people you love. Your relationship with rice doesn't have to end. It can evolve. With just 5 small changes, you've seen how something as simple as a staple food can shift from a silent blood sugar hazard into a daily ally for your heart, your gut, and your energy. And maybe the real victory isn't just in the numbers. It's in knowing you can sit at the table with your family, enjoy the foods you love, and still protect your independence for years to come. So here's my question for you. Which of these 5 rice hacks will you try first? Share it in the comments. I read every one, and your story could help someone else start their own change. If you found value here, watch my next video, 3 morning habits that keep blood sugar stable after 60. It's the perfect companion to what you've learned today. And if you want more science-backed tips to stay strong, sharp, and independent, subscribe to the Healthy Aging Hub, because this is just the beginning of your best years.